former King, 10-year NBA vet, TV analyst for the up-and-coming, maybe Houston Rockets, Ryan Hollins. How are you, Ryan?
What is going on, guys? Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us. Before we get any further, I could swear I saw you post recently, maybe it was on Twitter, maybe Instagram. You were showing Şengün the same hook shot that I showed you years ago in Nerf basketball. Am I right?
And I quickly wrote under the post, that's how I realized I'm getting old. That's what I've become Whitey Gleason. That's what I realized. And I looked at the post, and I'm like, you do something, and you look at yourself. I'm getting old, man. I'm Whitey Gleason.
It didn't work, did it? He didn't take to the hook shot, did he?
You know what's so funny? He told me, he goes, I like to, go up for 2 feet, or it's not, necessarily natural for me, and I don't know if I can do it. And about 4 or 5 games later, he pulled out the running hook, and I lost my mind.
Nice. Nice. Ryan, with Mike Brown running the Kings, what stands out to you in how the Kings and Warriors are similar? Because, of course, he was an assistant there for many, many years.
It's the expectations. I played for Mike Brown at the Pan American Games. I've competed against him in the NBA, and obviously you see the growth that he had last year, or the years prior with Golden State. But the mentality is not, we're just happy to be here. When they came into Houston and played, I thought that the team had been doing excellent. And when I looked at Mike Brown, I went back to kind of say hello to him before the game. He was running around, frantic and not happy with his team and where they were. And the one thing that I told him, I got keep up the good work. And he looked at me crazy, But it just goes to show he has a winning mindset. He has high expectations for that ball. And I'm not surprised by any bit the success that the Kings had.
Ryan, you were Whitey mentioned you were on those Lob City Clipper teams that were taking on Golden State in the mid 2010s, and they were at that time kind of getting their first taste of postseason basketball. Do you feel like Golden State has more pressure on them to win this series because Sacramento is still on that come up?
If the team didn't win a championship prior, I might say so. I might give some win to that, but I think because of championship year. Because obviously, the Draymond incident that they had, obviously Klay Thompson, Klay in the past, you have Wiggins. So I think
Oh, you there, Ryan? We're losing you a little bit. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we got you a little bit. Getting a little bit of interference there, but we got you. Yeah.
Yeah, what I was saying from the Warriors standpoint is guys, especially like Klay and Draymond, they're always trying to create that chip on their shoulder. They're always kind of drawing at guys. They're always trying to find that a way to kind of drive themselves and fuel themselves. So I think if anything, that's what we're seeing them try to create. But I don't think that the pressure is on them. I think they proved more than enough last year to the entire league. And I think what they've done is kind of just really put the icing on the cake to a dynasty.
Right.
Yeah, you were joking earlier about getting old. And as we said, you were on that Clipper team that knocked the Warriors out in 2014. Can you believe that same core is still winning even now, Ryan?
It's the closest thing that we've seen to the San Antonio Spurs. There are a generation of Tim Duncan and Parker and Pop and their dominance, and they're kind of coming along with Kawhi and winning a championship with Kawhi. Like, this is the way that I believe NBA teams should build. You get your core, you win a championship with your core, you keep those guys intact, and then you bring along a guy like a Jordan Poole. You go out and you get a Wiggins, go get someone that everyone else forgot about, and you build these young guys. Gary Payton II, go bring them back, get the band back together. You get these guys that you can build with. It's a family environment there. So I think that the Warriors have done it the right way, and I hope that other teams can do that. I don't like the mentality that once a player's older, it kind of is what it is. He's not worth his value. And I think Steph and Klay, obviously, with their shooting ability, has given them a lot of long longevity and experience in their career. But ultimately, I think that it's a mold that I think hopefully you see more teams adapt.
Ryan, you've gone on record in saying that you believe LeBron is one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time. How far do you think the Lakers can go this postseason?
They scared me yesterday. I'm like, that's the fear of the playing game. Like, you know what? Like, what you do is normally when you go to the playoffs, and you've seen this a lot from LeBron, right?
Right.
He limps in the game one. He's not even giving 100% effort, and then by game 7, if it gets there, you know, you see the real deal LeBron. He had to put it all out. He had to lay it on the line last night. I mean, that's one of the funnest games we've seen, but I don't know if him and Anthony Davis can get out of bed this morning.
Right. Yeah, he looked gassed.
Towards the end of the game with LeBron laid out, that might just have sealed the win for the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
I mean, he went full Rodman.
He did. Full extension.
Our guest is Ryan Hollins, former King, outstanding analyst for the Houston Rockets. You've set a screen or two in your time. Sabonis is an excellent screener. Why is that so difficult at the NBA level, and what makes him so good at setting an effective screen?
Because you don't want to switch the pick and roll with him. He eats you apart with the pass. When you go to double team him, the ball is whipping out of his hands, and he's got shooters all around the horn. When you switch a small onto him, he dominates that matchup. So he's an effective screener because you can't switch. And all the NBA wants to do, I know it drives you crazy, Whitey. Everybody wants to switch. And you cannot get away with that. So now, you know, you got your corner shooters, you got your wing shooters, and Sabonis loves the pass, man. So he's a very unique threat. I think the way that you challenge Sabonis' screening is you have to make him play defense. He's so dominant on offense. You got to attack him on the defensive end of the floor. You got to make him a shot blocker. You kind of got to take advantage of his size, you know, because he is an undersized forward, you know, playing center. But that's why those screens are so effective, because you have to respect what he's doing. And De'Aaron Fox's speed, it's easy to screen for those type of guys. That means you can't crawl into. If you can crawl into the body of a guard, it's easy to fight through those screens. But because Fox is so fast, you're never going to get that close to him, or else you're going to be driven by.
Right. I want to talk to you a little bit about your one season here in Sacramento. You had the pleasure, I guess, of having not one, not two, but 3 head coaches in one season. What are your memories from that season, and just how do you remember that, you know, the Mike Malone firing and George Karl coming in? How do you remember that all going down?
It was a roller coaster of a year,
to say the least.
I've never seen anything like it in the NBA. But what it goes to show from Vivek Ranadive, shout out to Vivek, by the way, is that he wants to play fast. He wants to win. And maybe he was, you know, putting the cart before the horse. Maybe he wants to do, and this is the NBA, it's a players league. Maybe he wants to do it from a coaching aspect before a personnel and player aspect. But now he said, you know what, the players are going to have to fall in line with that the vision of speed, and the coach is going to have to fall in line with the vision of speed and getting up and down the floor. But he saw the NBA trending towards the three-point shooting and the speed of the game, and he wants to play fast. And I think that he's finally got that team that fits what he wants to do on the floor. So for me, the 3 coaches in 1 year was like, hey, I'm trying to get there. I'm not quite sure how to get there, but I know where I want to go. And you got to take your hats off to him for what we're watching here today. He knew what he wanted. He just had to figure out how to get there. You feel like he's there. And my goodness, guys, this has to be one of the most anticipated playoffs that I've ever seen. Like I thought that Lakers game was good. This series about to be a bloodbath.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, very excited about it. Ryan Hollins, an outstanding broadcaster, one of the nicest guys you will ever meet. Our time always goes by too quickly, Ryan. I do have one more for you, though. Assuming, you know, maybe the Rockets end up with Wembanyama, how quickly, if that's what happens, how quickly you going to get in there and teach him the Whitey Gleason Nerf Sky Hook?
Listen, I've accepted who I am, Whitey. I've turned into you at 7 feet, and he comes around. I think that's just my first move, you know, like, hey, big fella, you do it like that, you know, this will be unstoppable for you. That'll be the first thing on my mind. Tell him how unstoppable this is.
Oh my goodness.
Right. Yeah.
Real quick. One more, Ryan. And I cannot get you out of here without asking you. I hope you already know what's coming. November 13th, 2014. Did you tip that inbounds pass in Memphis?
For sure I did. There's no doubt. There's no
on.
question. You can see the trajectory of the ball change. There's no question I tipped the ball. And everybody knows I tipped it.
Everybody knows you tipped, which made it so crazy because it's everybody could see it in real time at the moment that you tipped it, and for it to still not be called still clearly hurts me to this day.
Yeah. All right, Rhino. Thank you, man. You're the absolute best. Can't tell you how much I appreciate it. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, brother. Talk to you soon, man.
Yeah, coming up next. Hey, we have some information on when Game 2 will actually be played next on the Sacktown Sports Playoff Push. Whitey and Watkins, Sacktown.